let's talk about something that pretty much all of us are feeling. The sense that our ability to just focus has been stolen right out from under us. We're going to break down the science behind our shrinking attention spans and, more importantly, figure out what we can actually do to get them back. So let's dive in. You know that feeling, right? Like you're constantly being pulled in a million different directions, your brain just full of open tabs. If that sounds familiar, I promise you are not alone. That inability to just sink into deep work, it's not just a feeling anymore. It's a modern epidemic that millions of us are wrestling with every single day. And the hard data? Well, it paints a really startling picture. Research from the University of California shows this dramatic nosedive in how long we focus on any single screen. Back in 2004, the average was 2.5 minutes. By 2012, that had plummeted to just 75 seconds. And today, get this, it's a mere 47 seconds. Just think about that for a second. We've lost almost 2 full minutes of sustained focus in less than 2 decades. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, this isn't just you feeling like you have less willpower or that it's some kind of personal failing. It's absolutely not. What we're seeing is a documented cultural shift in how our brains are being forced to deal with information. The world around us has just fundamentally changed, and our attention, well, that's the price we're all paying. So the big question is, how did we get here? Let's pull back the curtain a little bit on the actual science of distraction, because it turns out our tech is deliberately engineered to capture our focus, and often completely against our will. At the very heart of this whole thing is a super powerful brain chemical, dopamine. And let me tell you, tech companies have become absolute masters at triggering its release. Every single notification, every like, every endless scroll, it gives you a tiny little hit of this reward chemical. It's effectively training our brains to constantly crave these small, immediate bursts of gratification. And you know the intent behind this design? It's not a secret. Ozzy Roskin, who actually helped create some of these systems, he put it so bluntly. He compared modern digital interfaces to behavioral cocaine. I mean, that is a chillingly accurate way to describe how these platforms are literally engineered for addiction. Just try to wrap your head around the sheer scale of this. Every single minute, nearly 139 million reels are played across Instagram and Facebook. We are just swimming in this endless ocean of short, emotionally charged content, all of it designed to keep us hooked at a very, very superficial level. You know, the Nobel laureate Herbert Simon saw this coming decades ago. He warned that a large amount of information creates a poverty of attention. And here we are. We have access to more information than at any point in human history, but our ability to actually process any of it deeply is just shrinking away. Okay, so this constant strain on our brains isn't just a minor annoyance. It has some really serious real-world consequences. We're seeing it show up as burnout, as mental fatigue, and in a pretty startling rise in attention-related diagnoses. Let's just take a look at workplace burnout. The top reasons might actually surprise you. According to this data, the #1 driver is a lack of time for focused work, and right behind it, notification and distraction fatigue. So it's not just about long hours anymore. Our simple inability to concentrate is literally burning us out. And this isn't a problem that's just stuck in one part of the workforce either. This feeling of not having enough time for deep work, it's everywhere. While it's especially bad for executives and managers, look at that. Almost 60% of individual contributors feel it too. It's become a universal stressor in the workplace. This constant state of distraction and overload is having another really profound effect. It's leading more and more adults to ask themselves if they have some kind of underlying attention disorder, which is prompting a huge increase in diagnoses. And the scale of this is just staggering. As of late 2023, an estimated 15.5 million adults in the US have a current ADHD diagnosis. This has gone way beyond a niche issue. It's now a significant public health trend. But maybe the most telling trend is when these diagnoses are happening. For the longest time, ADHD was thought of as a childhood condition. But today, more than half of all adults with a diagnosis got it after they turned 18. This really suggests that our modern environment is either unmasking or making symptoms way worse than they would have been in a less distracting world. All right, so the problem is crystal clear. But what's the solution? Well, the good news is we are not helpless here. This last section is all about a practical playbook for reclaiming your focus and actually fighting back against all these forces of distraction. A fantastic place to start is with a really simple but powerful method called the Pomodoro technique. It's basically a structured way to train your brain to focus for longer. You work in these uninterrupted 25-minute blocks, then you take a short break. It's all about building your attention muscle one little block at a time. And beyond specific techniques, it's really about building a toolkit of better habits. You can start simple. Just put your phone in another room. The effect on your focus can be pretty dramatic. And please actively avoid multitasking. The research is clear, it just ramps up stress and errors. And you can't forget the basics. Consuming deeper content like books, getting enough sleep, and regular physical activity, they all directly boost your brain's ability to concentrate. And look, our digital habits have a direct, measurable impact on our brains. This visual from a recent study, it shows the results from a test of cognitive control. This bar represents a score on a sustained attention task. Just notice the difference. Heavy social media users, people spending 4 or more hours a day, they scored significantly lower than light users. It's a pretty stark reminder that how we spend our time online directly affects our ability to focus offline. Now, for parents, shaping a focused environment at home is so critical. And it really starts with modeling the behavior you want to see. Setting clear limits, encouraging offline hobbies, and teaching basic time management, these are all foundational skills for building the next generation's attention spans. But, while all these individual strategies are vital, we can't solve this problem alone. This is a societal problem, and it requires systemic solutions. That means we need to have bigger conversations about things like the right to disconnect from work, and we need to demand that our technology is designed to protect our attention, not just exploit it. So at the end of the day, we're living in a world that is actively designed for distraction. The default setting is to be fragmented and unfocused. So the final question I want to leave you with is this. Knowing that, how will you intentionally design your life for focus?